Thank you all. I I say a lot of things that I don't remember, and so because I just yield. I have to go back and listen to myself to learn what the Lord's saying. So I've learned to record myself, and it becomes valuable in the later years when I write books because the whole idea of a Christian is yielding. It's not what you think. Because the culture of this earth, a lot of the cultures and countries, the evil spirits will push you to be very aggressive to acquire things. When God wants you to yield to the yoke, He wants you to learn, and He wants you to not be driven but be led. So do you understand that there are certain animals that you drive because they won't be led? So you have to get behind them and drive them, right? You understand that, right? But then there's lambs that are led. Lambs will just listen to the voice of the shepherd and follow him. So do you understand that that's Christianity? That's why Jesus used that idea, and that's why lambs are used. Because lambs are led, they're not driven. Okay, so the thing about Satan is that he's driven. So he understands that if he can get you driven, that you're out of your element. So you understand that like God is not behind you driving you and pushing you. He's ahead of you and you just follow him. That is the truth. So you understand that that's one of the ploys of the enemy is to get you driven and worried and anxious. But Jesus said, "The voice, I am the good shepherd, and my sheep know my voice, and you're led." So remember that, and because of that, one of the things that happened to me when I was in heaven was I realized that I was driven, and I'd have all my hair now if I had learned this before. No, but do you understand that Satan wants to get you out of your element? He wants to pull you into his ring where he can win. He wants to get you into fear and doubt and get you into things where he can beat you. But if you don't go there, he won't come to you. If you say, "No, you come to me," he won't fight you if you stay in the arena with God because he can't win. What I just said is the absolute truth, but a lot of you you didn't get it. I'm going to have to say it again. So this is the thing. This is the problem that I have. This is why I don't want to come back here, is that people have already been programmed to believe a certain way. And if they don't agree with you, they'll just kill you, or they'll put you in jail, or they'll shut you down, they'll lie about you. That the world is trained to shut people up that ruin the party. So like I would be praying in the spirit all day at work, and then I would walk into the hotel. And because we started our flights, the first flight out in the morning, I would fly from, say, 5:30 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I would go to the hotel. And then there was another crew that was there in the jetway at 2:30. They took over my plane and flew till midnight. So there was two shifts going on. And so I was in the hotel, but when we get in the hotel, the restaurants were closed between the meals, So I had to wait till 5 to eat, but I've been up since 2:30. Plus, my lifestyle I didn't need some of the things that people need in the world, so I just wanted to eat and go up and just be in my room, and I used to study and pray. And I was preparing for the ministry, and I did that for the 30 years, but it was interesting because you don't think that you are a threat to the enemy because you think you're just like you're a victim. You feel like it's so hard. Like I work all day and I'm praying in tongues and I feel tired and I can feel the devils. I'm encountering people and spirits and things like that, and I'm like, what? This is bizarre. People are acting up when they encounter. If I'm praying in the spirit, the devils get real restless in people, and then I had to have people arrested because they started to act up on the airplane. And they crossed the line, but everybody in law enforcement just thinks they're just being wrong, bad people, they're acting up, they broke the law. But what it was a rebellious spirit inside of them that was acting up because they encountered someone who wouldn't put up with it. So I've been hit, I've been taken and thrown, my life has been threatened, and I go, well, guess what? You're off the airplane. And guess what? You'll never fly again. You'll walk, you'll ride your bike, but you're not flying on our airline ever again. Because once you cross the line, you get arrested, then you have a record. But see, the devil actually disqualified that person. It was manifesting. I have bizarre stories. But this is the point, is that I would just pray in the Spirit and think, why do people not like me? After I came back from heaven, it's either people loved me or they hated me, but there was no in between. It was weird. And so like at 2:30, the only option was me to walk up to the bar and order from the menu from the bar because the restaurant's closed. Well, I'm in my uniform. I'm not allowed to be in a flight attendant or a pilot's uniform, either one, and order at a bar, even though I'm just getting food. I'm not allowed to do that because the appearance, it looks bad. Because, they don't know if I'm going to work or coming from work, so we're not allowed to do that, okay? The other thing is because I went to minister training in different colleges. I have people all over the world that I'm friends with who are my fellow students that know I'm a minister. If one of those people walks into that hotel and sees me sitting at a bar, then it misrepresents who I am as a person. I don't, that's up to you what you do, but I don't do that because I want to be different than the world. And people that are hooked on alcohol, they come to me and they ask for help because they don't understand why I don't drink and how I can control that. So do you see, I make a difference by setting myself apart. So the world, like I worked with people, they wanted to know why I was able to do all these things. And I said, well, it's because once you accept Jesus, he comes into your life and he becomes your strength if you yield to him. And so if I would sit and drink with them and get drunk, I'm no better than them. They won't ask for help because they've neutralized me. So do you understand what I'm saying or no? See, you have to have an edge about you. You have when you want, you can't date the devil during the week and go to church on the weekends and then expect to drive out devils. Oh boy, did you hear what I just said? Those devils are going to say, well, you're one of us. I mean, I've heard this happening. It hasn't happened to me, but I know ministers, they were casting out devil and they go, you're one of us. So you did this on the weekend, and they start like telling on them. How'd you like that to happen? So anyway, I'm telling you this because you have to understand something. When you yield to God, you're going to do and say things, and you don't know why you did and said them. Because your mind doesn't participate in spiritual things. That's what it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 2. Paul said that when you pray in an unknown tongue, your mind is not productive or fruitful. It does not participate in that spiritual exercise of praying in tongues. Because what you're doing is you're speaking mysteries to God. 1 Corinthians 14:2. This is not my notes. I just feel that I should tell you this. If you're going to yield to the Spirit, then what you're going to do is you're going to take something from the other realm and make it manifest into this realm. Okay, so what had happened was, after getting beat up all day, I would just take my tie and my name tag off, and I was permitted to go to the side of the bar and grab a menu and then order from the bartender my food and then step away and wait until they prepared the food and brought it to me. But because I had prayed in the Spirit all day, and I felt terrible because I was beat up by the world all day. I did this for years. I didn't know that the power of God was so strong because my body felt weak and my mind was weak. So I would go up to the bar and I would grab the menu and start to order, and everybody at the bar would turn and stare at me and say, why don't you leave? They would say, why don't you leave? I'm like, what? Do I know you? You're not wanted here. I've even had the bartender refuse to even give me my sandwich. He says, you need to leave. like, is it my tie? What is it? See, what it was is they were paralyzed while I was there. So I would stand there and wait, and they couldn't do anything. Because that guy right there at the bar, the woman he's with is not his wife, but he's going up to the room with her in a little bit. But he all of a sudden can't, he's all convicted by being there. And this person over there, they're not supposed to be drinking because the doctor said their liver's shot. And all of a sudden, the conviction comes that, what am I doing here? And you look up on the top of the bar and it says, spirits. I go, okay. So they're communing. They're having communion. It's a mock communion. They're all sitting around a table, and the devil is mocking God. But you didn't get that, so forget it. Okay. All right. The next, I don't know why I just said that, but I'm sure it's going to help somebody. The thing of it is you don't want anything to control you. You want to be led, not controlled. You want to be led, not driven. Certain things in your life, they end up dragging you further into other things. And people say it all the time, I don't know how I got here. And I go, yeah, one step at a time you got there. People don't understand. They need someone strong in their life. You need boundaries. You need people in your life. You need a church. You need to have a pastor. You need to have the governments of God in your life and telling you the boundaries. We all need help. Now, the reason I say that because this next word I want to talk about is destiny, the word destiny. Now, I didn't know, and I didn't understand this word until I was in heaven. See, I thought destiny was some sort of romantic thing that you read about, and it's in movies, and there's words that are in heaven that don't mean what they are on earth. And this world corrupts some of these words and makes them something bad when they're not. And with destiny, you have a destination that was ordained before the foundations of the world. So Jesus was slain from the foundations of the world, according to the book of Revelation. So when they met, before they made man, the Trinity met and decided before they made man, they knew by foreknowledge that man would fall. They knew that Hallel, the cherubim that covered Eden, would fall. And what he did was really stupid, but I can't tell you. But he fell first, and then he took man with him. When the Trinity met at the beginning, before they made man, they knew this was going to happen. But because the risk is that if you make someone in your image, in the image of God like they did, the risk is that you have to give them free will in order for them to be God. So to be in the image of God, God had to risk everything by giving us free will. To be ruling, listen to me, to be ruling class, to be in charge, and to accept God's love in its fullest, you have to have free will. He does not want someone who's made forced to serve him. To be co-laborers with God, you have to have free will. It was the biggest risk that God ever took, but he had to do it because he wanted someone who could face him and talk to him and genuinely love him and want to be with him and commune together. Like Adam and Eve did before the fall. He came down and walked with them face to face every day, and they didn't melt. But see, when Moses in a fallen body said, "Show me your glory," God said, "You want to die?" Why? Because see, the body couldn't handle that. It would melt because it's fallen. Moses knew that God was holding something back. So instead of God was using the word presence, "My presence shall go with you, Moses." He goes, "Oh no." He said, "Show me your kabod, show me your glory." And God says, "You can't see me and live," because he's in a fallen state. But God, in his mercy, still worked it out, just as long as he didn't see his face. So if you ever see the face of God, you won't come back to your body. Your body can't take you back. It would die the minute your spirit touched it. It would be torched. That's why when angels show up, you fall. That's why when people lay hands on you and the Spirit of God is really strong, you fall. It's because your body can't take it, but your spirit loves it. Your mind goes tilt. And you sit there and laugh, and you don't know why you're laughing. It's because you get over yourself. The Holy Spirit takes you out of your situation, puts you in his situation, and then you're laughing because you can't even remember what you were worried about. And you can live the rest of your life that way. Okay, so the word destiny means that you have a destination.
Many people go through life wishing they could understand the realm of the spirit and the warfare that goes on behind the scenes. In his brand new study guide and 3 CD set, The Notes of a Warrior, Volume 1, Dr. Kevin Zadai helps you to develop your ability to engage the enemy on every level. Kevin's brand new study guide and 3 CD set, The Notes of a Warrior, Volume 1, will help equip you to learn to recognize God's direction for your life, encounter clarity in knowing God's battle strategies against your enemies, exercise your authority as a believer, walk in increased discernment through the Holy Spirit's power, and much, much more. In this exclusive offer, Kevin also prays impartation prayers on each CD to help you in your advance against the enemy. Order today Kevin's brand new study guide and exclusive 3 CD set, The Notes of a Warrior Volume 1, for a donation of $29, US shipping and handling included. To order, call 888-340-1460 with offer code 1002 or go online to kevinzadai.com/offer. It's time to stand up for your rights as a Christian and give the devil a headache.
And the destination you have is not what you think. You're thinking like, I need a new job, I need a new this, a new that, I need this, I need that. But once you find out what you really need and what you want, which is to see God's glory. You want to see him revealed. You think you want that new car, but what you really want is to see the face of your Father. Honestly, in heaven, when I was there, you visit with people constantly. You're constantly going from one person to another as you go. You just live in heaven. You have people over to your mansion. Your mansions they're big buildings with everything you like, and God does it the way that you like it. But people come and visit, but what they do is they sit and they tell you what God did for them. And they testify about the faithfulness of God. And you walk down the path in the park there in the paradise, and you just go from one person to the other, and they want to tell you what God did for them. They don't talk about themselves. It's the wildest thing. They just want to testify about the faithfulness of our Father, God. And you just encounter people. But what was interesting is in between, this was just to keep you occupied between the visits to the throne and with Jesus. Because Jesus was constantly moving around, visiting with people, and you had an appointment with him. So when it was your time, he would walk up to you, and then you got to talk to him. And he just kept doing that. And there's no clocks. So he's right there, and you turn around, and he's over there talking to someone else. And then you look, and you walk down there, and there he is talking to someone else. And your whole goal in heaven is to go to the throne and worship God and to talk with Jesus. But in between that, you visit with people. And then soon you'll be assigned to a place, and then you'll have an outpost. You'll be an ambassador. You'll be over territory, and we're going to start the millennial reign, and there's going to be a population that, don't even ask me about this, but it's going to start over again for 1,000 years. And then the devil's going to be loosed again. And then he's going to be thrown in the lake of fire. Don't ask me why. But that's the way it's going to be. The heavenly Jerusalem is going to come down. If you measure the boundaries in Joshua chapter 1, the boundaries that are stated there, it's 1,500 square miles. That's how big Israel should be. Instead, it's the size of New Jersey. But when the heavenly Jerusalem comes down, it's 1,500 square miles. It will sit right on the boundaries of Joshua. You follow me? That's the way it's going to be. You're going to be in the city. Outside this city, there's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. But we'll be in charge. Probably just need to buy Perry Stone's DVDs to fill in the gaps, because prophecy is just flashes of the future. It's not in a linear timeline, so don't try to figure it out. God gave flashes of things that are going to happen. You can't build the timeline and be accurate. Many have tried. I have many of those DVD series at home. But every year it changes because what they say doesn't happen. And I'm just like, well, hey, maybe we're just supposed to be feeding the poor and witnessing to people. Forget about the red dragon and the Antichrist, and don't forget about them, but let's just do our job down here, So your destiny is written before you were born. Jesus offered to come back when man was given free will and they were born. When they fell, Jesus said, I will come back and I will buy them back. So he was slain before the foundation of the world, as the scripture says. You're looking at me like, you got to grasp this somehow, because the future has already happened. And they were like, well, Jesus was saying all these people, how they're going to die and how they're going to glorify God in their death. And they said, well, what about John? He goes, well, what is it if he is alive when I come back? And you know what happened? He was on the Isle of Patmos. He didn't see a film. He saw Jesus come back. Oh, you didn't get that, are you? He was on an island called Patmos. He was taken to the future and saw Jesus come back, just like Jesus said. Jesus didn't miss it. Everybody's like, well, Jesus missed it. He said he was going to be there when he came back. He's going to be alive. Well, he was. 95 AD. Okay, so when Jesus speaks your destiny, that's the way it is. So he speaks it before you're born. But many people are in hell when their destiny was spoken to be something else. And you're like, well, you said it's already written. I go, yeah, it is. But you got a free will. Why? Because you're the ruling class. You were created as a ruling class of beings. Humans, there's nobody above them. The angels now are above us only in their operation because they didn't fall. They're operating in the spirit realm freely. When they show up, you think, oh my God, they're going to make a movie out of this. But see, you're supposed to be operating above that. They're supposed to be under you. But you're not getting this, or are you? We fell. We've been purchased back, but what did I say? The only thing that hasn't been defeated is death. Death still has a sting. It still gets us, right? But if death was taken out of the way where we didn't die, we'd be back in the garden. Because when I was in heaven, the river of life is liquid diamonds. It's liquid diamonds. It's so sparkly. I almost fell when I was talking about it because I went there. I almost just fell. Because I walked down that bank of that river that comes out of the throne room, and that water is glistening. It's so bright that if you look directly at it, it feels like it's going to blind you. That water is so full of life that if I drank one little glass of it, I would live 1,000 years in the flesh. But I wasn't permitted to do that. So now I just drink regular water. But I realized that's why people don't understand that Adam and Eve were never going to die. None of us were ever supposed to die in the flesh. We're never supposed to be sick. We're never supposed to be poor. We're never supposed to be in the dark. We're supposed to be in the light. We're supposed to walk in the light as he is in the light, according to 1 John. If you read these scriptures, it takes you back to the origin of man before the fall. But because we're fallen, we are locked out of living in the flesh forever, in the blessing. The earth is cursed. So if you cut your grass, the next week you got to cut it again. If you eat, you're hungry in an hour. If you don't sleep, you're grouchy. But see, none of those things are needed in the afterlife. You eat because you want to eat. You sleep if you want to sleep. But who wants to when the throne room's right there? I'd want to go there. You don't need anything. When I was in heaven, I didn't need a thing. Not a thing except every word that came from Jesus' mouth. The angels wouldn't even talk when he was talking to me. Everybody stops talking because they might miss something that Jesus said, because he always is saying something that someone in heaven has not heard yet. He's always speaking beyond what we know because we don't grasp the truth.